We're living in very unique and challenging times. This is something that last week, of course, you and I spoke about the assassination attempt right after it happened. President Trump. I was with him this week, saw him this week, was with JD Vance, among others. But no question, the times that we're in, to see a sitting president, I think rightfully so, deciding not to run for reelection after he tried so desperately to hold on to this. Um, Very, very unique times, and this election will be an historic election in November. There's no question about it.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like you being a Republican congressman for as long as you've been, um, but I know that you have worked with the Biden White House on projects. You've been there, on specific things, especially connected to Oak Ridge, some other things there. Just your thought on that, and obviously you got polarized politically. I mean, we know those things, but just your thoughts just on kind of to have a president that decide to do this and all the challenges that he clearly has
Well,
had and is going through.
well, I think we have to put it in political perspective. And since the debate, and I was at a debate with Republican friends, Democratic friends, some people who were at dinner watching this. The Democrats at the table didn't get angry; they got sick. They got upset and sick. And one of them actually excused himself and says, "Look, this was so bad," and it was. The debate revealed what we had known for a long time, that President Biden was incapable of a lot of things, especially running the country. And I'm trying not to be political now. He's been frail for quite some time. I believe he's been frail from the inception of his presidency. We saw that during the campaign when he was in the basement and the like. But the reality was, the stark reality was, Democrats were leaving him, demanding that he not run, but donors, big donors who had previously given to him, supported him, were basically saying, "You have got to go." And today he made that difficult decision for him to go. He's going to attempt to serve out the rest of his term. I have some reservations about that. That was his call. He has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris for whatever reason. It's not entirely clear whether or not she's going to be their nominee or not. On our side, we had a tremendous convention this week, vibrant, positive, optimistic, and where President Trump accepted our nomination and chose JD Vance to be his running mate. So we have an advantage right now in the polls. We had a team with Joe Biden on the other side that was going to lose. They knew it. We knew it. I analogize this situation on the part of the Democrats as a Hail Mary with Kamala Harris and someone to be named later. They were definitely going to lose. They were going to lose not only the presidency, but down ballot. And what I mean by down ballot is in the Senate and in House races. Great sigh of relief on their side today from many people who were seeing their money dry up, their poll numbers drop. So this at least gives the Democrats somewhat of a chance. But I feel great about President Trump's chances in November. I think he will still prevail. The effect on the down ballot in key states right now, Senate and House races, is yet to be determined.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think a lot of people look at it in a way of, well, President Biden after the debate, he had a rally the next day and he seemed better and all these things. But when you're talking about, like you said, and we've heard this from Democratic members of Congress and Senate, their concern is down ballot, but also fundraising is such an important part of this as well. And there was a poll in the Detroit Free Press today that had Trump up 49-42 in Michigan, which obviously the last two cycles has been decided by three states, and Michigan's been part of that. So it's always more than I guess just looking at the candidate and some of those things. There's always other factors. Can you just speak to that? Because I think you understand that in a way that maybe other folks may not, since you're in the middle of campaigning and whatnot, or have been for a time as well.
It's an excellent point, and it's probably the most important point of the day. Politics is about winning. Political parties are about winning. I'm a Republican. There's two major parties in our system. It's not the case in other democracies and republics around the world. Some have multi-party systems. As you know, I'm a political science historian and a lawyer by profession. But in our context, the political parties, Republican and Democrat, whether it's at the top of the ticket, Senate races, local races, are in place to facilitate winning. That's why independents have such a difficult time, not only raising money, getting support, because people here independent, there are very many fine people who are independent. They neither decide to be Republicans or Democrats, but it's a very big uphill climb when you are in one of the two major political parties. The Democrats have been looking at this race. Biden has had his poll numbers dissipate in a free fall. You alluded to it very well. In every swing state, he was down. And what was worse for them, in some of the states that were not considered swing states, and I'll be specific, states like Virginia, we've seen polls, internal polls, that Trump was even running ahead. So they are trying to stop that. And again, it's about winning. Thank goodness I've won 7 times. I'm running for an 8th time. Getting support from the Republican Party is very important. I am the Republican primary choice, the only one on the ballot as we go through early vote. I'm very thankful for that. But the parties have primaries. Right now, the Democrats are going to have some tough decisions. At their convention, which is in less than a month in Chicago, they're going to have to decide, how will they choose President Biden's successor on the ticket? Will it be an open primary? Will it be choosing someone? Will Biden release his delegates to Harris? They've got some very difficult decisions to make, but literally they go from no chance of winning and a disaster down ballot, in my view, and now to the point where they have a very slim chance of winning, and they'll at least be competitive in some of the down ballot races. And I'm trying to be as objective as possible. What do I think will happen? I'm confident Trump-Vance will win in November through the Electoral College. It could be a landslide, but Democrats are throwing somewhat of a political Hail Mary now to help down ballot. But you will probably see this week their fundraising uptick. No question about that.
Yeah, it's also pretty common for both sides after the convention to see a bump. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. And you were there at the convention as well. Can you just kind of speak to kind of the atmosphere there and kind of the things you may have noticed being in Milwaukee this week?
Yes, that was my 3rd convention. Of course, last time, if you recall, because of COVID, neither party had their convention. So this was my 3rd convention. I was a delegate, but I was also there as a member of Congress, seeing people, saw President Trump, saw Vance. Actually had a good talk with Senator Vance about nuclear power, nuclear weapons, the energy and water portfolio that I chair. As a matter of fact, I told him my bill was going to the floor this week. That's my energy and water bill for appropriations, will be on the floor, should pass in the House. But vibrant, optimistic. The Tennessee delegation did a very good job. Governor Lee actually spoke. Senators Blackburn and Haggerty were there. Most of our House members were there. Our state delegation was there. In a word, I would say confidence, optimism. But I caution people, and I gave a speech, I guess it was Thursday morning, to our Tennessee delegation. I did a lot of media, national and local, but I spoke to our Tennessee delegation and I cautioned them. I said, politics can change in a day and in a week. I've been around this a long time. Prior to being a candidate, I was the person that was the political junkie, helping people get elected, studying politics, studying history. Now I'm actually part of the process personally, and I really relish and enjoy that. But I said, be cautiously optimistic. Things can change. We are leading right now. Trump is leading right now. Republicans are leading right now in the House and Senate. But I cautioned and tempered my optimism with a message that we're going to have to work hard, things change right up to the time. And my message was vote early, take advantage of those states that allow early voting. Don't do what Republicans have traditionally done, waited to election day. I've talked to Republicans over the years and said, well, I don't like to vote early. Democrats vote early. I think that's smart. Republicans need to vote early. Where there's mail-in balloting, they need to mail in their ballots early, getting it done. These are legal mechanisms in states that are going to allow citizens to vote. The danger is on election day. Somebody has a cold, somebody gets busy, they go to the polls, there's a big line, there's inclement weather. Anything can happen. Remember, this is November. So a great time, probably my best convention. Of course, the upside of me now as being a chairman in Congress, in the House, my stock is higher. So a lot more people wanted to see me and meet with me. And I was very thankful for that. There's no arrogance in that. I have a much different status than I did at my first convention, which was Romney Ryan.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a great point. I'll leave you on this final thought here. When you look, and I guess with the change on the Democratic side, this may change some ideas, but the idea of picking J.D. Vance, there were other options, obviously. I think when you had a Trump Biden top of the ticket, obviously picking a younger running mate may have some advantages. Obviously, Ohio can be a tough state that might benefit. But what are your thoughts on the advantages that Senator Vance brings to this ticket?
Excellent question. Great United States Marine. I know you can relate
Right.
to that. That in and of itself says a lot. I was with Jim Banks, who's running for the Senate in Nebraska. I'm sorry, in Indiana. I went to his party the other night, and I thanked him first and foremost for being a great United States Marine. All the Marines I know in politics go about it a certain way. They play to win. They're structured. They're disciplined. They're bright. They're mission oriented. So I give him a lot of thanks and credit for that. He's also a sitting United States senator. He knows how the Senate operates. Yes, he is a freshman, but that's important. He's got relationships there. He's a very bright individual. Just speaking with him, I think he's got an excellent demeanor. When I spoke with him, I said, what can I do to help you? This is my expertise. Nuclear weapons, nuclear power. I explained the Department of Energy's focus and what I do as chairman. And he was immediately solicitous of my help. Yes, please do that. I would like to talk with you about that. And so I can offer some help there. He's young. He's 39 years old. He's strong. He's vibrant. He's very conservative. He may, in fact, be more conservative than Donald Trump. I've always applauded Donald Trump as being not only conservative, but being a great populist. Donald Trump relates in a way that I've seen no other Republican ever relate to the common man, to the common lady, to the hardworking person. I've walked into factories before, Josh, where I'll get out there and say for about a half hour, let me tell you what I did, and let me tell you about this and that. And good hardworking Americans on the line turn around and say, well, that's nice, mister. But where are you on Trump? Well, I'm for him. Then where for you? And they go back to work. So it's an interesting time. So you've got a conservative ideologue, a great United States Marine, a solid United States senator who's younger, and is probably the future of our party. So I'm optimistic. A good choice. And most importantly, Donald Trump likes him. This is Donald Trump's party right now. We saw that on the floor. We saw that for 4 days. He's leading in all the polls. I think this pick had to be somebody that Donald Trump liked. Rest assured, Donald Trump likes J.D. Vance.
All right, Congressman, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. I hope you feel better soon with the cold you got there.
Thank you.
Thanks for making News Channel 9 your trusted source for local news. For updates and the latest on breaking news, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.